Oh yeah, huh? Yeah, one of the Far Cry had co-op too as well. Anyways, California's new law forces digital stores to admit you're just licensing content, not buying it. Oh, that's interesting. A new law that's happening in California about video games. That's interesting. Yes, I need to know. I need to know. Will we get a Bloodborne on PC? All right. Well, Mister Jesus himself has come down with his graciousness to reveal the news about it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it doesn't sound very good in my personal
Sometimes what you
opinion.
need to hear isn't what you want to hear.
Here we go,
At the
chat.
time
Are you
in high
guys
school
ready?
when I told
You
a
guys
girl I
ready?
liked her and she said, ew, did I want to hear that?
Here we go.
No.
Prepare yourself,
Did it make
chat.
me
Prepare
stronger
yourself.
and did I learn from it? No. Absolutely not. That was like the meanest possible response. But point is, sometimes you gotta get the cold water. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm splashing you with that cold water. Bloodborne is never getting a remake, a remaster, or a PC port, and especially not a sequel. I'm putting my foot down. Every single video game conference and every single year, everyone in chat is spamming Bloodborne announcements coming. This is the one. Finally, Bloodborne. We're gonna get Bloodborne port news, this and that. And now the big cope is Bloodborne's 10-year anniversary is coming up. They're finally going to say something about it. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not coming. The closest we will ever get to anything new Bloodborne related is from the fans who are working diligently to bring it to PC with improved visuals and improved frame rate. They are doing the Lord's work, and I think that'll be the last chapter in the Bloodborne legacy when that's finally...
If it does come out on PC from these people, from other people that are doing it or so, I'll play it or so. I'll play it on stream. Why not?
...completed and brought to PC. I don't think Sony will ever do anything with Bloodborne again. They will let it fester and rot away, collecting cobwebs in their bin of forgotten toys they don't feel like playing with.
Yep.
It doesn't make me happy to say these things. I am a massive Bloodborne fan. It's tied with Elden Ring for my favorite Souls game ever made. And that's the entire genre of Souls, Soulsborne, Souls-like, whatever terminology you want to use. Bloodborne and Elden Ring are tied for me at the #1 spot. I think the game is legitimately a masterpiece, and I would love to see more from it. But unfortunately, I think the only way I'll see more from it is if I close my eyes and just fucking imagine it. Put myself in a box like SpongeBob and Patrick and pretend I'm playing Bloodborne 2 or Bloodborne on PC. I don't...
Unfortunately, everyone has to hear it, you know. Sony will shut that down. That petty they petty with Bloodborne. You think so? You think so? They haven't shut it down yet, so. But anyways, like I said, everyone needs to hear about it because, you know, everybody wants Bloodborne. Everybody wants Bloodborne in those chats, but it's been a while, chat. It's not gonna happen, unfortunately. I'll say it, and everyone will probably agree. Exclusive games are incredibly bad for the game industry. Yeah, definitely. It definitely can be pretty bad, to be honest.
I don't think it will ever actually come. I do think, though, that someone will probably license the Bloodborne IP and maybe do, like, some kind of big show out of it. I could see that happening. I believe Sony would be more willing to license it out for, like, a show production than they would to make another game out of it. So that, I do think, could be on the table. I just don't think there's going to be any more Bloodborne games, or a Bloodborne port or remaster, whatever. I don't think that's coming. But I could see a world where it at least has a show out of it, because everything's getting shows nowadays, and this is still
That's
a
true.
hot property
That's actually
that people
true.
talk about every day for the last fucking 9 years. So there is meat behind it, and I think that they might try and capitalize off that at some point. Fucking Concord has a whole episode dedicated to it in that upcoming secret level show, and that game
Man, dude, even up to today, we still, after the weeks that game has died or so, we're still talking about Concord even to this day, chat. Like we're gonna be talking about Concord forever, chat. For the through the ends of time, we'll be talking about Concord. By like 5 years, 10 years down the line, we're gonna get videos about like why Concord failed, you know, in the YouTube recommended or so. Like 5 years down the line to remind people why Concord was such a bad game. Just to remind everybody, you know, be like, hey, do you guys remember, You guys remember Concord?
Died in 2 weeks. That game actually just got pulled off life support in 2 weeks. So games to shows pipeline is hot right now, and I think that could definitely happen for Bloodborne, but I don't think there's going to be a game for it. Even though Miyazaki and the team seem to really still love Bloodborne, he has gone on record to say that they don't own that IP. Unfortunately, and I've said this in other interviews, it's not my place to talk about Bloodborne specifically. We simply don't own the IP at From Software. Sony owns it. And it's very important to mention this, that Sony...
Oh, I thought they owned the IP for Bloodborne. Oh, I did not know about that, actually. I actually did not know about that, you know? Holy shit, dude. Wow. I see. I see. That's interesting.
Sony's first-party developer, Japan Studio, which is defunct, had a major role in the development of Bloodborne. So, a big speculation is that because Japan Studio is in the Shadow Realm now, that's been fucking vaporized, that kind of took Bloodborne with it. But we can sit around...
Oh, they also don't own Sekiro IP? Really? Damn, dude, that's interesting. So that's probably why we'll never get a Sekiro sequel. Sekiro's such a good game. I should probably go back and play it sometimes on PC. I've never played it on PC, so I played it on console, but I never played it on PC. Damn, dude, that's crazy. Plus, also I'm a big Sekiro fan because you want to know why I bought the collector's edition of Sekiro.
In a circle till the cows come home and speculate, articulate, gyrate, ejaculate, all brainstorming about why Sony is sitting on a gold mine like Bloodborne and never really know the full answer. I have my own theories that I'll share with you. I think the Japan studio shutdown is probably a big component of it, but I personally just believe...
I wish that studio didn't shut down, in my personal opinion. I wish Japan Studio didn't shut down, but unfortunately, it's such a sad time to hear that it actually shut down. Oh wait, my bad. They own it 100%. Oh, they do? They do own it? Okay. Activision owns Sekiro? Oh, it's Activision that owns Sekiro? Oh, okay, I see. Wait, Activision actually making a good game? What the fuck? Yo, that's crazy. I didn't even know about that, actually. Sony is Sony. They're shipping out a $700 plastic magic box and calling it good. Yeah, they think they're gonna get their money back or so from Concord from that $700 plastic box. I'm gonna be honest with you. No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
Believe that Sony doesn't have a lot of faith in the IP. And in the modern AAA gaming landscape, if there's even an iota of doubt, companies don't pull the trigger on it because it's very expensive.
I'm buying it. I'm not
Bloodborne.
buying that.
I talked about this on stream, and people.
If someone donated me $700 for me to buy that plastic box or so, I'm gonna be like, look, thank you for the donation, but I'd rather use it on like maybe get a new faceplate for my VR headset. Maybe add 2 more extra not 2 trackers, but 2 extra base stations and 3 more trackers for VR setup, so we can have fun or so in VR chat. Maybe maybe I'll do another stream or so where I react to stuff in VR. So yeah, just stream related stuff. Just honestly, maybe upgrade my interface. Maybe, for God's sakes, I've been having this interface for who knows how long now. I think it's time to retire my interface. I think it's time to retire my interface. I think I've had it for at least 10 years now. I think it's time to get me a new one, in my personal opinion. You can build a PC for that price or get an okay build PC for $700. Yeah, you can get a pretty decent PC, I saw a video or so that someone built a pretty decent good PC for like $700, so.
Brought up Armored Core 6. Armored Core 6 sold, I think it was 3 million copies, which was actually a big success for them because they didn't put, the $100 million budget behind that title, and it still fucking crushed it. Bloodborne, that would be a chunky...
you would make a lot of money or so for a Bloodborne remastered.
That would cost a lot, and the first Bloodborne sold 7 million copies, which is really good, don't get me wrong, that's great by any metric, except Sony's. I am of the firm belief that
Damn, that game. Wait, really? Wait. The game has sold 7.46 million copies by February of 2022. Damn. When did Bloodborne came out? I don't really remember. God, it feels like it's been such a long time ago.
By any metric, except Sony's. I am of the firm belief that Sony only thinks in $100+
A long
million.
time? Is it?
So, take for example Concord. Absolute catastrophe, complete disaster. I already mentioned Voldemort's name earlier in this video
Jesus
already.
Christ.
That is the biggest flop in entertainment history. But that was a flop that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to Sony.
Goddamn
because they
Concord.
put all their eggs in that basket of Concord, thinking that it could have the same kind of power as the juggernauts in the industry.
Yeah.
Completely delusional.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I feel like they only put their elbow grease in hundreds of millions of dollars worth of development time and games that they are confident could somehow compete at that level. And I don't think they feel that way about Bloodborne. Let's take, for example, Horizon. Horizon is already getting a remake despite only being 7 years old.
Dude, when I heard Horizon was getting a remake, and the worst part about it too, on top of that, that game is coming out on my anniversary on October 31st. I was just like, dude, there's not a single good game coming out on my anniversary. That's the worst thing about it. Even Dragon Age is coming out on October 31st, and I was just like, fuck, dude. Fuck, man. What a terrible time to start my streaming career, you know? What an actual terrible time starting my streaming career, you know?
But that's because Horizon sold over 20 million copies. Now, of course, I've said this before, and many others have as well. You could very easily make the argument that Horizon sales numbers are inflated. They're really boosted. It's almost like fucking Viewbots to a certain extent, where Horizon was just bundled with every fucking PlayStation for so long that obviously those sales numbers are going to be heavily boosted for it. So I still think the game is extraordinarily popular and sold many, many millions of copies, but I think the 20 million plus that it sold is definitely helped by it being part of the bundle. But regardless, to Sony,
they can't port Bloodborne. Sadly, heard the code of that game is bad. Modders have a hard time modding the game. Plus heard the studio that helped FromSoft making Bloodborne is gone. Yeah, the studio is gone, which is Japan Studio. Japan Studio is non-existent anymore. So Horizon didn't need to be remade. Why did they do it? Money.
Sony's eyes, the corporate vampires at the top, the goddamn fucking...
I'm not a super diehard for Bloodborne, you know, but I'll definitely play it or so if it ever comes out on PC, or if they ever find the kinks or everything like that to for Bloodborne itself, you know. So they would have to rebuild a lot of they would have to probably rebuild the game because it's a pretty old game. So the coding in that game is pretty ancient compared to how it is now, you know.
Husks and the suits, they're just seeing the numbers. Horizon.
The numbers.
Numbers.
What do the
This must
numbers mean,
that it's a slam
Mason?
dunk guarantee anytime we touch this property. So that's why they put so much behind it. You got Lego Horizon coming out.
Yeah,
You
Lego
got
Horizon
out the wazoo. Horizon being shoved in every...
You have the VR Horizon game, you have the Lego Horizon game, you had Horizon Forbidden West, and then you had Horizon Zero Dawn or so. That's like 4 in total there. They sure are milking that franchise pretty well because they want it on like everywhere. Next they're gonna say Horizon toaster strudels, you know, or Horizon, you know, Horizon refrigerator, you know, your refrigerator turns into a dinosaur and it'll give you like it'll give you a soda every time you ask for it, you know. That's basically what it is. It's 9 years ago. I see.
Orifice on the human body for gamers. It is because Sony has seen huge numbers and huge returns, so they keep doing more with it. With Bloodborne,
not just Horizon either. Not just Horizon. The Last of Us as well. Last of Us is also another game that they won't fucking let it die, for fuck's sakes, dude. Honestly, I'm so tired of hearing The Last of Us come up now. At this point, I just fucking hate it now, you know? It's the same thing, you know? Horizon, you know, is coming back from multiple times. The Last of Us is also keeps coming fucking back from the dead every single time, but it never really is dead. So for God of War, they've only made like what? They've only made like a second game though, compared to The Last of Us and Horizon though. God of War is getting there, but it's not there yet exactly. It's not to the levels of The Last of Us and Horizon. So I heard that the CEO of Horizon is pushing hard for it to be everywhere. He is to blame for the push. Jesus Christ. These CEOs are so dumb. That's how you know they have no creativity. They have zero creativity in their head for a CEO. Pathetic, to be honest.
Bloodborne, there is a single game that sold very well, but it's also been a long time, so maybe they're just skeptical that, you know, this very vocal group might not go out and buy it. Because that is a very real possibility too, with things, and I mentioned this on stream, like the new Prince of Persia Lost Crown. People have been begging for a good Prince of Persia game for God knows how long, and begging for a good Ubisoft game for Lord knows how long.
True.
And finally, a great Prince of Persia game came out from Ubisoft,
Yep.
and it flopped.
Yep.
Nobody bought it. But the people that did really liked it. I've heard it's one of the best games of the year. I actually haven't played it myself yet because I'm still playing through 9 Souls, but the people I've seen glazing this game are people whose taste usually align with mine when it comes to games, so I do think that they're probably right that the game slaps. And even though the game came out and was very well received, it highly underperformed for them. And that happens.
It's just the problem is the name was attached to the publisher of Ubisoft, and Ubisoft just has a really bad track record as of recently. That's the only reason why. I think the game would have done pretty well if it wasn't made by Ubisoft or published by Ubisoft. I think it would have definitely done better, you know, if it was handled by someone else. I think if it was handled by someone else, it would be a different story. I think that might be the reason why, because, you know, everyone just doesn't like Ubisoft because it came out at a bad year. If I remember correctly, did that game came out this year, right? The Prince of Persia game, right? I'm not too sure. I don't really remember. But also this year came out Skull and Bones, which was a terrible flop, right? And then now Assassin's Creed Shadow got announced this year as well, and it made the poor, you know, the Sands of Time game, you know, Prince of Persia, or the Prince of Persia game, I should say, kind of have a really bad track record, unfortunately, because, you know, what do you expect, you know?
Happens from time to time.
I feel like that plays a big part of it, you know?
People are really wanting something, fucking foaming at the mouth, saying like, we need this, this is like a, you know, this is a home run, this is a layup if they just deliver it. Then the thing comes out and it doesn't translate to success. That does happen from time to time. You can never really be sure based on like the people that are very vocal about it. You never really know for sure. And I think that's something that Sony might think for Bloodborne, but I feel like Bloodborne is at a point where it is so well known and comes from a developer that has so much prestige that shouldn't be a thought that crosses their mind. I'm just saying that it is a possibility that it is something they consider. I can't even pretend to be in Sony's shoes, because if it was me, this would be a no-brainer to do.
Yeah, Stellar Blade, Space Marines 2, Wukong, Power World, Enshrouded. Let me see. What other games came out this year that was really, really well received or so? Those games were really well made this year. So there's a Quiet Place game. There's a Quiet Place gaming coming out at October 18th by Saber Interactives. Oh yeah, that too as well.
Do something with Bloodborne, at least a PC port that would have come out many years ago.
The Elden Ring DLC came out this year as well. Don't forget about that. That also came out this year.
With me at the helm, like that feels like it should be so obvious. And that's such a small lift, like a small investment to just port to PC. Like, I know I'm kind of downplaying like what the work that goes into it, but comparatively to a full-blown AAA title being developed, like that one is significantly easier for them to have done, and it would have just been pure profit because the word of the
I want to show you guys something. It's Bloodborne related, but I want to show you guys something. I think you guys might like it because it's actually pretty cool.
This game is spread for so long, so wide, I think so many people probably would have just gotten it to be part of the crew, part of the ship. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Bloodborne's finally here on PC. I can do that. I can play that now. And I think it would have just popped off for it. But I'm just saying, like, even though like there's a very vocal group that wants something to come out, it doesn't always mean it's going to be super successful. But in the case of Bloodborne, I really feel like it probably would.
It probably is.
It's just one of the most beloved developers in the world right now. Everything they touch turns to gold. It's so stupid to not use Bloodborne, but Sony is choosing to just squat on it. I saw someone make a really good point as well in the comments section a little while ago about like Sony's apprehension to do anything with Bloodborne being even more confusing when you consider that one of their big titles for the PS5, like their next gen, like super system seller type title, was Demon's Souls Remake. Demon's Souls was, when it came out, under the radar game.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't a household name by any means. The original Demon's Souls, I think, eventually pushed over 2 million once Dark Souls popped off and people wanted to go back and experience like the first of the Souls series. But it was not a widely popular game. Demon's Souls Remake, though, they went hard with and put a lot behind.
Yeah.
However, it's also not performed like amazingly for them based on what I can tell. The most recent sales figures I can find put it at just over 2 million copies of Demon's Souls Remake, which I don't think is entirely on Demon's Souls' shoulders here. I think it's because of the scarcity of the PS5 initially. You were more likely to find a fucking Chaos Emerald than you were to find a PS5 for the first couple years. So obviously it's not going to have spectacular sales numbers. But
yeah, because if I remember correctly, isn't like Demon's Souls was only available for the PlayStation 5, right? And then getting a PlayStation 5 for so long was like the most difficult thing to get in order for you to play Demon's Souls. Wasn't that like an issue or so, right? It's only exclusively on PlayStation 5, right? For Demon's Souls, right? Unless I'm getting the information incorrect. You guys can let me know.
Maybe that plays a role in FromSoft being so apprehensive to use the Bloodborne IP for even like a remake. I don't know, but it is very odd that they chose to remake Demon's Souls, which did not perform very well, instead of doing Bloodborne, which did. Even when Bloodborne came out, it was massive. It was a huge success.
Yeah.
It's not like it just retroactively became a big success. Demon's Souls did, but not Bloodborne. Bloodborne was always a success. Yet they haven't touched it. They haven't done anything with it. The closest thing we've had to anything new Bloodborne related is from fucking Astrobot with a costume for Bloodborne.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I don't know why they wouldn't have chose Bloodborne for the PS5 remake. That would have made so much more sense. I really like Demon's Souls remake. I had a great time with it, but just
they're waiting for it on the PlayStation 6. That's where they're going to announce Bloodborne remastered. Or they can do this, right? They'll wait until they announce it on the PlayStation 8, right? Because Bloodborne came out on PS4, right? And PlayStation 8, four generations apart, 4 generations anniversary, that's probably what they're gonna do, That's 100% is what they're gonna do. They'll release Bloodborne remastered when the PlayStation 8 comes out, when they have that when they finally be able to do 8K resolution. No, not 8K. 12K resolution. There you go. 12K resolution. That's what they're gonna do. They want you to see the details or so, on that, like on that hair physics. You can see the money shot or so. You'll see the money shot right there when you zoom in just a little bit into that game.
Really looking at it, I don't know what Sony has against Bloodborne. Like, the more I break it down, I just cannot fathom this hate boner they have for Bloodborne. I don't get it. I really don't. There's gotta be something more behind the scenes that's leading to them not doing anything with it.
They probably will.
Out so many silly theories, and
soon you'll be able to play Skyrim on the Apple Watch or so, right? When the time comes out for Bloodborne, you'll be able to play freaking Skyrim or so on your Apple Watch.
Thought processes they might have that leads to them not touching it, but at the end of the day, I don't get it. I think it would have been
nobody understands why they won't do it.
Of just giving it an update for a PC port a remaster, so that way you can go over 30 FPS, because the game is still 30 FPS.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been the easiest thing in the world just to do a small scale project with it. Instead of, if you don't want to cannonball into the pool, whatever, I guess, it would have just been so easy for Sony to test the waters and see how it would, like how the community would respond, if it would be successful or not. And it just doesn't make sense that they have.
Elder Scrolls
They do
mobile
this for
game?
so
That's
many
crazy.
games that are significantly less popular than Bloodborne, and I don't get it. While I may not understand the real motive or reason why,
I think I might know the reason why, because I think if I remember correctly, I saw a video or so that there was, what is it, 8 projects being worked on, 8 or 9 projects or so being worked on that were live services. Jesus Christ, this pause, this pause creative here of Moist Critical, opening his mouth, from what I've heard, right? Because this is just a rumor, so right, that was just that some insider knows, right? Apparently, Sony is making 9 to 8 live services games, right? Well, granted, one of them is dead because one of them was Concord, and other ones are being worked on, and I think a few other projects got canceled. I'm not too sure. So there's a few other live service projects that are being worked on. I wouldn't be surprised if Marathon is part of that project idea. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's also part of their plan, right? Because it's a live service game. And because they want to make, the biggest cash money cow, right? To make these live service games where these people will play the game, spend money on skins, spend money on gun skins, just all of this stuff. That's what they basically want. That's what they want. They want to be the next Fortnite. That's basically is what they want to be, specifically for Sony. They want to be the next Fortnite. They want to have that piece of the pie. They want to have that big cash cow where they can rake in the money, and that's pretty much frankly about it. That's the reason why they don't want to do a Bloodborne remake, because it's not gonna bring the big monies, making over $200 million. Hell, Telltale Games have a higher chance of making a Bloodborne game. You might be right, actually. You might be fucking right, to be honest.
Bloodborne is so stagnant and Sony prefers to just let it get stale and collect dust. I do know for sure that they're not going to change. Sony has proven to me time and time again that they are
the only way it's going to change, right? If they get rid of the CEO and put in a different CEO that understands gamers, that completely understands gamers. That's the only way. That's literally the only way that this will ever change.
They are a creature of habit. If they have decided they don't want to use the Bloodborne IP, they're just not going to use it ever. I think Sony as a company will probably wither and die and fucking dissolve before they ever do anything with Bloodborne again. I do think they could make a show out of it, like I said earlier. I think they will eventually start licensing it for shows and all of that. But I do not think there will ever be another Bloodborne game, like an official one, a sequel,
I don't
or a
think
remaster.
so.
And I just want to throw this Hail Mary out there because I know it goes against what a lot of people believe, that eventually we'll see more from Bloodborne because we have to. It's so popular, it doesn't make sense why we wouldn't. I just truly think Sony is going to play hardball with it and, out of spite maybe, never use Bloodborne again. That's my theory, and I just wanted to put it out there. Could be. I think people got to stop getting their hopes up at...
Which, by the way, where the hell is Wolf Among Us 2? This VOD brought me depression.
Every single video game conference to see Bloodborne-related news, because I don't think it's ever coming. Now, I do have a track record of being very wrong where I make these predictions and then within like a month, it's completely washed. I made a similar prediction for Halo Infinite, though I will say I was partially correct because what I talked about with Halo Infinite is that the game they showed would never come out, and it never did. What we got with Halo Infinite was a much more half-baked version of what they used to show. So I'm gonna stick to my guns on that a little bit. I was kind of half right with Halo Infinite. I was super wrong with Elden Ring, though. I said Elden Ring probably wouldn't be coming out for like another 5 or so years, if it even existed at the current moment. And then it came out like the following year. So, I don't have the best track record with this. So this could serve a really noble purpose of like kind of jinxing it into existence where
hopefully
I'm hoping Bloodborne's never coming, like a new Bloodborne, and then we'll get it in like a month or two. So
That would be kind of nice.
it's kind of a win-win. I'm either right that they never use Bloodborne again, or I'm wrong and we get more Bloodborne, which is a win for everybody. So, you know, yeah, I just want to talk about it a little bit. That's about it. See ya.
Maybe.
Okay,
Just maybe, chat. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Sometime.
I'll be honest with you. Just maybe. Just maybe. Who knows? Maybe him jinxing it might bring it back to realism. You know, calling it out. The fan-made PC port is gonna release, become extremely popular, and then Sony will give a fuck, and they'll immediately issue a cease and desist. They'll probably they might actually probably will actually. So Bloodborne TCG. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. No. I don't think Sony even knows what Bloodborne is. We have a higher chance of Bloodborne skins appearing in Fortnite. Yeah, probably, actually. The fact that Horizon Zero Dawn got a remaster first is the biggest middle finger to the Bloodborne fan base. That is very true. Just wait, it's gonna come out exclusively for PS5 Pro. It's gonna be called Bloodborne Pro. The true Eldritch abomination was Sony the whole time. Bloodborne Remake and Half-Life 3 exist in our hearts. Yep. Nah, Bloodborne ain't never coming out. Hell, they would change it to a cinematic game like The Last of Us, probably. That CNW, the CND will come in screaming at the modders, probably. Yeah, the cease and desist, they'll definitely come after them if it becomes super popular. Sony would rather make Concord 2. Yep. They spent $400 million on Concord, but won't even put Bloodborne on PC. Never mind a remaster or a remake. It's because it's the reason why. You want to know why? Here's another theory too. You want to know the reason why they won't make a Bloodborne remaster or a remake? It's because they put $400 million into Concord, thinking that they would get that money back and more, right? And then they can use that money, right, that they got back or so from the sales, to go into the Bloodborne remake. So, you know, that's what they thought initially. Then, well, Lord and behold, since Sony lost so much money, this is probably the reason why the console cost $700, because they're trying to get that money or so to fund for the remake for Bloodborne. But that's just my theory, though. That's just my conspiracy theory. But, you know, I'm just saying, maybe they are making it in the works, but maybe they're just broke. They have no money right now, so maybe. Like I said, just a conspiracy theory, you know. Again, Sony doing fucky wuckies, yeah, with their money, yeah, 100% with their money. I don't even know what the hell they're doing with their money, spending all that kind of type of cash or so on a game that was not even good to begin with, and then they decided to put another $200 million on top of that. But anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because, you know, a lot of people be talking about, you know, just a lot of people to be talking about in like every like video game, you know, con or conversation or live stream or anything like that, or every state of play or so, you know. There's always people in the chat just saying Bloodborne, you know. So broke that they can't even run their servers anymore. Oh, that's true. That you want That is so true. I forgot about that. You know what? They probably ran out of money because they had to shut down the servers because they couldn't afford it anymore for one day. They had to shut down the servers for one day because they couldn't afford it. Damn, dude. That's crazy. That is funny. That is actually really funny. Man, I didn't even think that. That didn't even occur to me. Oh man, Sony. I don't even know what you're doing over there, but yeah. Anyways, I just kind of wanted to talk about it because it was pretty fucking hilarious and kind of like, you know, the whole Bloodborne remake remaster thing. You know what? I'm on the side for people wanting the Bloodborne remake. You know, server downgrade. Yeah, of course. That's the end of the video. Like I said, comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff, and yeah, let me know, guys. Let me know, guys, what you guys think about the that Sony just completely hates Bloodborne. You know, they just hate it. You know, they just hate it. And yeah, that's the end. And peace.